So let's continue what we learned in the last video, the basic rigging 01 video, and go ahead and rig up our character. So here's my character, his name is Leo, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a very basic facial rig first, and then a bone structure for his body. So I'm going to hold spacebar here, right click on the word Maya, and just go to my perspective view. Okay, so let's take a look at his face. Now, I have a very similar, I do all of my topology pretty much the same way in all of my character faces. I do these concentric loops around the eyes, I build the mask area and things like that. So what I'm going to do is go to face mode and double click the face for now, and isolate selection just so you can kind of see it. And so this is sort of the way the head looks. And if I go to vertex mode and I hit B for soft select, and if you hold B down it lets you control it, you can kind of test the loops around your face if it gives you the look you kind of want, like it sort of looks like Play-Doh. So if I move it up here, I can kind of get a half smile or a cocked eyebrow, and again I can just sort of move that up. If it gives me nice smooth curves around it, you think you did a pretty good job of the topology on the face. I could have done a better job of averaging some of these verts, you know, smoothing them out. There's a little bit of a gap between here and here, but for now this model will do. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and select my entire model, and then I'm going to shift right click and just separate it for now so I can hide individual elements. So for example, that glasses are going to block the face, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Control A, and down in layers I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer and just call it by double clicking it. I'm just going to call this gear, and in this gear layer I'm going to assign the glasses, his book bag, and his books, so I can kind of hide those as I skin and rig. Okay, so I'm going to right click, add selected objects, and I'm just going to hide those. Let's go ahead and add this as well, and the straps for his bag. Okay, so I'm going to go to the front view, and I'm going to go up to my skeleton joint tool, and I'm going to create one joint. Now that joint's pretty big, so I'm going to go ahead and knock that down to maybe 0.2. Okay. Now I'm going to actually snap this to the verts on his face, so I want to see where his placement is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on wireframe mode. Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to leave this guy out here. He's sort of my starter vert, and I'm going to hit Control D. And while holding V down, what you'll notice is it'll actually snap to the verts in his face. See that? So I want to have some on the inside brow here, so I can move the eyebrows up and down. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control D, hold V down, snap it here as well. And I'm just going to work my way around the face. So again, holding Control D, I'm going to hold V. I'm going to snap this one here. Actually, I guess we could have one sort of looping around. Give ourselves a lot of control here. One off to the side here. And I'm going to place one right at the top of the eyelid here. So, and make sure you know exactly where you're sort of snapping these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control D again, because you're going to have to do this onto the other side. I'm just going to snap it onto that front vert. So at this point I'll be able to close my eyes and open them using this controller. I'm going to hit Control D, and I'm actually going to snap a vert to the center of his nose, maybe around here, or snap one of these joints. I'm going to snap one to his cheek here. Let's go ahead and make sure that duplicate worked. Again, holding V down. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control D and hold V down here. And just at the edge of his mouth. Okay. So as of now, that's a pretty good joint placement. You can have a few more. I've seen rigs where they put a joint on both sides of the eyes. For now, I just want it to open and close. Okay. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm actually going to delete this guy here, and I want to select all of these joints with the exception of the nose. And to sort of save us some time, I'm going to group them together, and then I'm going to duplicate and flip them across the face this way. Okay. So go ahead and hit Control G, and that'll group them together. Then we're going to go to Edit, Duplicate Special. Now the way I brought up this menu is I held spacebar down. It's also up here, Edit, Duplicate Special, and I click the options here. What we want is We simply want a copy. We do not want an instance, because otherwise whatever we do on this side will update here. And we want to make sure that we have a -1 in this scale. When we hit apply, you can see that that grouping copied over to the other side. Now, we don't want them to be grouped anymore, so we have to go into our outliner and look for that grouping. And one simple way, you can see it says group 1 and group 2 at the bottom, or you can simply click on a joint and it'll turn gray. So what I'm going to do on each one is I'm going to expand group 2, select all those joints in the face, middle mouse click with my wheel, and just pull it off that grouping. So now when I select group 2, I'm going to delete that. Same thing with group 1, select all these joints, middle mouse click off, and I'm going to delete that grouping. Now, also with my joint, there seems to be a little bit of a problem. It seems to be that it has these transforms on it. We'll leave those on for now, and I'll show you how to clean that up later. Now, what we want to do is go ahead and add these bones to the skinning of the face. So all I'm going to simply do is I'm going to hold off on that now until another video. What I'm going to do in my next video is I'm actually going to go ahead and build the joints, and then we're going to add this facial rig to our character.